And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with episode 169 of the SplashCast Monday Night Raw, our football edition, football segment. I don't know what's happening. Norwood, what's going on?
Bo Nix to Marvin Mims, 93-yard touchdown. We are getting closer and closer to naming Bo Nix Rookie of the Year. And I'm talking about you can't throw one better than the one he just threw.
But they're playing the Browns, right?
Browns.
The Browns beat the Steelers, though.
Deshaun Watson sucks. The Browns do not suck. Deshaun Watson probably does more than that, but that's a different conversation for a different day.
That was wild. With that being said, y'all know what our college football segment, man. I was hoping you didn't go there. No. With our college football segment, we starting out.
What podcast you think this is?
We got a lot to talk about today, man. If you watch, I'm assuming y'all, if you're watching and tuning into college football, if you tuning into college football, I'm assuming, I don't know what just happened.
Let it go.
Oh, well, we're going to keep talking.
Let it go.
If you tune into college football, then I'm assuming, if you tune in here, I'm assuming you watch college football. There's so much to talk about. Before we even got to before I can even get to Georgia, before we can even get to the upsets, the college football playoff, before we can get to all of that, we got to get to the fights. There was a fight in almost every game. I think there was a fight in every game for like the first 5 games of 7 games of the day. Michigan, Ohio State, North Carolina State, UNC, Arkansas, Missouri, Auburn, Alabama, Arizona State football players, Notre Dame, USC, Florida, FSU, Texas A&M, just to name a few. And it all mostly started with planting the flag. But when I tell y'all everybody was fighting, I mean, even the mascots got to it at Arizona State, shot it, and they were fighting for real.
Y'all letting the mascots fight and think because they gymnasts that they not going to eventually get mad and fight back. They fight back 100% of the time. And you hitting the person with a whole helmet on, so I can really swing off on this person. I'm trying to rock them, sock them robot right upside your skull. Tell me what you think about this, and I'm going to tell you what I think. And I think what could be a potential.
What are you talking about? Do I think about the whole thing or just the Arizona mascot?
The Royal Rumble. Every rivalry game came with a fight.
Well, so this was crazy. So the first one,
you can't do that.
So the first one we're gonna talk about is Notre Dame USC. Notre Dame beat USC. I told you if you listen to Saturday Morning Live, I told you it was gonna be a close game. But these two teams, the thing about rivalry week is you got a bunch of 18 to 25-year-olds that are hopped up on creatine and protein shakes and vitamins and all of this stuff with high levels of testosterone, and they literally are gladiators. And then you add in tradition of hating each other. Duh, I am not surprised there's so much fighting. Dude just punched the USC player in the face. Just punched him in the face and then looked at him. And what you gonna do? Because he looks like he's as big as J.J. Watt. That looks like J.J. Watt in a Notre Dame jersey. Want me to go to the next
one? No. Bear with me with my audio. I'll figure that out. But in the meantime, the thing that is crazy to me is this is just nuts. First of all,
I don't think he got kicked out.
Nothing. The punch in the face mask has to hurt your hand. And it's like, bro, we're playing football. They can see there's a camera everywhere. And then for there to not be an ejection after this is beyond me.
I mean, I'm not surprised. But I mean, he punched him square in the face. So you had that. Then you had, of course,
like you play football, man. It's certain things I can and cannot do. I could not just swing off on this dude in our rivalry game at 2:30
Why
in the
you can't?
afternoon.
I've seen Brandon Spikes from Florida just punch my cousin in the face. Not my cousin. I've seen Brandon Spikes punch somebody in the face. I've seen a Florida guard, the Easley. What is it, Easley brother? No, what's the twins that went to Florida that played center and guard?
Yeah,
Pouncey. I seen Pouncey punch my cousin in the face, like just smooth, just. And I was like, after they ripped his helmet off, it's just it kind of comes with it. Now my cousin ended up stepping on his neck, but that's rivalry games. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Now Ohio State Michigan fight. I think Ohio State's soft. Y'all some suckers. Y'all are emotional. Y'all got beat. Y'all, y'all soft. Y'all got beat. First of all. Second of all, most of y'all that actually played got bought. Y'all wasn't even on the field last year for Ohio State. And then y'all over there trying to fight because of the flag. Don't nobody care. They don't care. And Michigan was 5-6 and they beat y'all. Michigan was 5-6 with no quarterback. No quarterback, dog.
For 65 yards? That's unacceptable. You can't do that.
Y'all got beat like it was 1948.
Not a great time for us, if you didn't know. But yeah, and Ryan Day standing there, and the dude said, "Hey, they can't plant their flag." Now, I don't like that answer because y'all do that when y'all win.
No, they don't. I've never seen Ohio State plant the flag. I've seen Baker Mayfield plant the flag.
They're going to ban those. That flag thing will be banned.
Oh, it's over with. Over with. Now, what I don't like about this is that they pepper sprayed. They tried to clean it up and say they pepper sprayed everybody. I ain't see no Ohio State player suffering from pepper spray, but they pepper sprayed the Michigan players, which tells me one of two things. Either the Ohio State, the police that were from Michigan that were supposed to help hold back Michigan were really going for Ohio State, or Michigan won the game and the fight, and y'all lost and were losing both. So the police had to intervene.
Michigan, I think Michigan was definitely winning the fight, and I think that's where things got kind of rocky. And at that point, it's like, oh, let me fix that ASAP. And my personal solution to this is ban the flags.
They are.
You guys,
it's not going to happen.
But I think the right answer to this is, if it's such a rivalry, then just create a trophy so you can say that you won something. That, to me, as long as Georgia and Florida have been around, why is there not a trophy at the end of this? We keep the record. Yeah, but it doesn't matter, but it does. It doesn't matter because we don't have, and maybe that's an SEC thing where there aren't any trophies for the rivalry games. But like those other schools, the Golden Axe and the Golden Boot and all the rest of that.
You got Florida State, Florida. They got the Gator head.
It's still kind of unofficial, no trophy. I think that's another one that should have one. I think Georgia, Florida, and Florida State both should have like a real trophy.
Man, you had Missouri versus Arkansas in the snow. You know you got to be real to fight in the snow, and you choose to stay out there and be cold. And Missouri beat Arkansas, and then they were ready to fight, and they said, "We'll see you in just a minute on the road." So they talking about they was trying to. Now some of them were dapping each other up and all of that stuff, but that was a fight. Of course, we talked about the mascots. The North Carolina State fight was surprising because both of them ain't good, and I didn't expect for this to happen. I ain't never really know that there was a fight between. That there was such a I thought this was basketball. Like I ain't never seen North Carolina State fighting football.
I mean, no, but at the same time, it's an interstate rivalry. Anytime it's two teams from the same state,
same city, they like 20 minutes away.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. I didn't even think about that. But
Raleigh-Durham,
you can't do that.
Well, it's at North Carolina, and North Carolina State hitting the flag after upsetting them beating them. I ain't gonna say upset, beating them at the end of the game.
Ban the flag. Ban it.
Okay, so what you gonna do about here? Arizona State did the pitchfork.
And, okay, all things that look like flags and or whatever. Y'all, like, this is stupid. And we're in this. Oh, well, no, let's Auburn, Alabama. You know what it is. Them people.
Auburn, Alabama, you knew what it was. They was fighting on the sideline. They threw their helmets off. They was ready to go. Like, now, for the Auburn, Alabama fight, Buddy did get jumped. Alabama fight, dude, got jumped on the sideline. Like,
I'm not fighting anybody from Auburn, bro. Fight yourself. Y'all need to fight yourself to a win. This is the other part about all of this post-game fighting is you had all this time during the game to fight and to whoop the person in front of you, and you didn't get to whoop them enough, then this ain't the time to do it. Don't touch me. And, I mean, this is eventually going to cost you guys a game that matters. There's no way. If you're an Auburn player, you can't even touch me. You're not playing football that matters.
Nah, that don't matter. Then, of course, you got Texas A&M, Texas. Texas A&M, Texas. Look at that. They was fighting. Oh, and then they tried to grab him, hit him in the back of the head.
I don't like that either, especially on the sideline. Like,
it was good, Greasy.
Really, man, he looked like George Pickens.
Yeah. There was so much fighting going on that
this was a good game, though. This is a good testy game, and I mean,
I was hoping somebody got thrown out. I was hoping
if you're Texas A&M, you gotta be like, nobody respects me anyway. I'll kick this whole table over.
They had bad luck because they're all everything back ended up getting hurt after running for 100 yards like 3 weeks ago towards ACL. So that we ain't even did no football analysis yet. We just talking about fighting.
One more though. Oh, if you click that, go to the Florida UF and go to the shouldn't have been playing, because we might as well go ahead and cover this right now. Because that's where it kind of, like, as much as I say like this is foolishness. No, you're fine. It's right there. But yeah, this gives for us a little bit more context. Last year, I had completely forgotten about this, but you're going to the logo. You're cutting up grass, like you're cutting up a patch of grass to take home.
So for those listening to the audio experience, Jared Verse in Florida State, when they beat Florida last year, went and cut the grass off of Florida Gators. Trey Benson and Jared Verse cut the grass off the end zone of Ben Hill Stadium. So then Florida comes back and decides to claim Doak Stadium as theirs. They plant the flag. Mike Norvell is upset. He doesn't shake Billy Napier's hand, and then Florida digs up their stuff and he throws the flag out.
But see, my question is, Mike Norvell, when everything was going your way last year, you didn't get out there and stop your players then. And now that you're on the other end and your season has fallen apart, now you got all of this. And then soft ass Billy Napier talking about, oh, we can't do that. It's none of that. Nah, bruh. If you started, you know I'm a firm believer of, I don't believe in starting foolishness, but once you started it, you can't get upset with how I respond.
Well, I'm going to let you know now, forever and ever and ever, y'all might as well go ahead and order a whole nother end zone for this rivalry game, or go ahead. Well, I guess season over with unless you're good.
No, they're going to make sure they end the games immediately off the field. Everybody. Immediately.
I don't think so. That'll probably work for maybe 1 year. Because it's too much. You can't eliminate the handshake and all that. A lot of these guys know each other.
No, but you know how you can do like a lot of these schools. All right, well, it's over. Ladies and gentlemen, they had the people and they had the horses out there. Horse. Like they could make this, and the SEC is probably going to make a statement, because you can't have everybody fight when you're trying to, because there's a risk here. like, first of all, athletes. What about if this thing turns into like these all had potential to really get out of hand?
Well, now Michigan, Ohio State kind of got out.
Did get out of hand, and they had admin right there. You know how like we all been to school before.
Shout out to you, Jack Sawyer, for being all upset that you went 0-4 against Michigan. I don't know if I've ever met anybody in my lifetime that went 0-4 against Michigan and Ohio State, and you did all of that and lost. And then you want to go fight? No, you should have did something on that goal line stand, big dog. I just had to get that off my, because I had to get. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. Don't be no sucker after you lose. Don't be no sucker. But we'll get to it. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna get into depth of these games.
I agree with that, but the SEC and college football has to do something to protect themselves at the end of the day. This, like, me and you are laughing about it, but that's
you said
if
the
this
SEC?
is your cash. Yeah, yes.
I mean, everybody. This is past conference lines.
Yeah, but the SEC had Texas A&M. Did y'all fight?
No,
y'all didn't fight.
I mean, we ain't had no energy after that. 8 overtime.
Florida fall.
Yeah. Jameis to Judy, 70-yard touchdown response.
Yep.
So it was fights. Let's get to the football part. So before the game started, before the week started, last week they were talking about this was the chance of the college football playoff as of 7 days ago. 8 days ago now. It was Oregon at 100%, Ohio State at 100%, Penn State at 99%, Texas at 98%, Indiana 98%, Georgia, Notre Dame, Miami, Tennessee, Boise State. And then I don't know if the percentages will change in terms of the teams that will make it and not. I don't know if the teams will change, but percentages have definitely changed because you had upset city all week long. Go away, Siri. I said city, not Siri. You had Ohio State versus Michigan, the first big domino to fall. Ohio State, number 2. Ohio State lost to Michigan. Was it 13-10 in a ugly? Come on. No freeze on me. There we go. In an ugly game.
You can't do this with a team that doesn't have a quarterback. And they haven't had a quarterback. They can't throw the ball. They haven't been able to throw the ball. And you're the number 2 team in the country. This is unacceptable.
You can't do this at home. They did this at home, dog.
Oh, what are we talking about? You can't do this if you're Ryan Day, period. You have to know your own struggle in life. Yeah. All the rest of that, rivalry, and you have not gotten it done. And they are going to fire you. They are going to fire you. They're going to fire you. Michigan had less than 100 passing yards. No chance. Now,
Michigan
for 116.
This is their second string back. This ain't even their first string back. Michigan. If Michigan, I didn't realize. I don't know what to think here. Ohio State, I don't, because I'm so confused. Ohio State has the best wide receiver in the nation, at least number 1 or 2 or 3 or 1A or B or C in Jeremiah Smith. Then they have Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson at running back. Then they have an all-world defense, and I still ain't named the other receivers yet. And they went up there, and you know what? Ryan Day, you get what you deserve. You hire Chip Kelly as offensive coordinator, and he put up 10 points with talk about driving a Ferrari as a Pinto. That's what you did.
I'm going to tell you right now. I don't want you at Florida if this is what you got.
You can only rush the ball 77 yards.
Damn.
77 yards with both of these backs are going to the NFL.
This is the embarrassment of riches. At the end of the day, you have too much to not do enough. But we also know that this is you. That's really the more disappointing thing. And this is the reason that we don't respect your comments, to be completely honest, is
I knew it was coming. I'll wait for you to get there.
I hate I hate when people prove me right because then people will be like, oh, you just hate this team. No, this is unacceptable. You can't keep losing to Michigan. Now, last year, I will say, I ain't gonna hold that against you. They cheated. And they've been pretty blatant about that they cheated. But this year, you had everything. There's no reason, no excuse to win. I mean, to lose.
You can say they cheated. They beat y'all though. They beat y'all with nobody.
Cool, but they cheated. Cheating is like they cheated. They cheated. They cheated. They cheated. They cheated. That's fine. But after that, you should want your own give back. You should be like, oh, well, you cheated me last time, and I'm the number 2 team in the country. It ain't no way in hell that you can cheat me this time. I'm gonna punch you in the face, and I'm gonna punch you in the face for really what you did to me last year.
Yeah. Now, there's another side of coin to this, though, and this is why I stopped here on Michigan. Michigan defense has been good most of the year. I think they were bad against Texas, but I mean, Texas is Texas. They've got everything. Yeah. But Michigan's defense, and they didn't. Okay, and he playing with the mic over there. They didn't even have.
No, for y'all people listening, I bumped the microphone stand. Reggie will have y'all believe something. No Diddy, my boy.
For the audio experience.
You're not doing that.
Back to Michigan. Michigan's defense was crazy. Shout out to Sharon Moore. He really might be good at offense. He really might be good at offense because he designed Michigan's whole team and scheme has been designed around not having a quarterback. That has been their whole mantra. And this defense played a hell of a game, and they get the number 1. Look at that. This is their second and third corner. Amir Hall and Makari Page with interceptions. They won with field goals. And trust me, I'm a Falcons fan. We lost to the Steelers, and the Steelers didn't make it into the red zone. And we lost. They kicked 5 field goals and beat us. They won every aspect of this game outside of the passing game. And that's how you beat a team. Ohio State had 10 yards of offense in the fourth quarter. If I'm Chip Kelly, if I'm Ryan Day, Chip Kelly would be fired today. Like, you don't, ain't nothing for you. You got it. But who else?
You don't have the power to fire anybody right now. You can't touch nothing.
You had the ball for a minute.
1 minute. If you even look like you finna do something, they'll fire you. You better sit at your job and walk around on eggshells. Don't make too much noise. Don't bring no attention to you. And the best thing you can do is win 1 or 2 of these playoff games. Now, I will say that as bad as this loss kind of is, if I remember correctly, this keeps him out of the Big Ten championship, right?
Yes.
Which is great.
Kind of. With the way that it works now, you don't necessarily get penalized for losing or winning the championship, if I'm not mistaken.
But you also give Oregon, if Oregon beats you again, you're going to get them confidence for life.
Yep. And then Michigan, I told you they was fighting. Michigan was talking. It was like, and this is Davis Warren is the whatever string quarterback for Michigan talking about, we're going to win in your house. We're going to plant the flag, and you should have done something about it before the game. This is something that I know Norwood feels this sentiment to a million because he talked about it with Cam Newton. If you don't like me dancing, if you don't like me celebrating and waving to the crowd, do something about it. Beat me. Especially when you have the better roster. You spent $20 million. They spent $20 million.
No, you had an hour during the game to do whatever you want to do to them people. Game over. Now you tough? No, you're not tough.
Shout out Jason Avant. Didn't even know that was him. Jason Avant went and got the flag. Was like, nah, that's not going on the field. And shout out to Michigan for saying, yo, they got to learn how to lose. And it's true. Y'all be dancing and tap dancing and doing all that stuff in Ann Arbor when y'all was winning and cheat. Y'all cheated too. When y'all was cheating over there in Ann Arbor, like, bruh, y'all can't be out there being sore losers like that. Shout out to Auntie. Auntie talking about, she said, what's the word of the day? Inept. Let's play this. Let's see if I can play it.
Hi, Auntie Bev here with another word to help you build your vocabulary. The word is inept. It's an adjective, and it means showing or having no skill. Using it in a sentence, I would say, Ohio State University football coach Ryan Day has demonstrated his inept skills throughout this football game. Even if Ohio State should win, Auntie Bev believes Coach Day should be fired for his inept coaching. He has lost the last 3 games against Michigan since 2021. Inept, showing or having no skills. Add that word to your vocabulary bank and make it your time to shine. Auntie Bev speaks.
This is funny to me. This is hilarious because my grandmother, RIP, was an English teacher. And this is exactly how she would cut your ass. She would sit there, bachelor. She had a doctorate in linguistics. She would use a word that you don't even think about using. You might know what it means, but you don't use it. How many times? And then she gonna embarrass you and smile in your face, and then tell you go in the corner. They trying to get Ryan Day out of there, dog. They trying to get him out of there.
TT Bev ain't playing with y'all. Your coach is inept and fired him. And then she gonna make y'all some brownies or something, or make some cookies. You know she probably made some fire dressing too.
Oh yeah. Come on, come on, have a seat, baby.
This.
Just come on, sit down, have a seat. Come on, sit down.
Oh yeah, don't worry. You terrible. You terrible. Auntie, why do you even know this much about football? I be watching. I know exactly what's going on.
I be watching y'all because I got to make sure to know what not to do.
Yeah, and y'all be out there fighting.
Yeah, y'all be fighting a lot. Another upset city. I'm kind of going out of order, but another upset city. If you listen to Saturday Morning Live with your boy, I even posted the reel afterwards, right afterwards.
I saw that. I was like, boy, you doing a lot of posting over there.
Because I was right. I figured something out, but I was right. I told y'all, I said, hey, Miami, if you go up there and think it's going to be sweet up there in Syracuse, you are sadly mistaken. That is a difficult place to play. That, what they call it, the Orange Dome, the Carrier Dome, or whatever they call it. That is a difficult place to play. I told y'all about Jackson Meeks. I thought that he should have played at Georgia. I felt like the loyalty. I feel like Jackson Meeks was there and they were loyal to Ladd, but Ladd ended up being Ladd. And you ended up having other players ahead of him. He's one of the top 5 receivers in the ACC. He's probably going to the league now. Told you, they couldn't guard. They could not guard him the whole time. They could not guard him. And Miami was up 21-0 and got beat 42-17 to end the game.
Yeah, Miami, this has always been the issue at Miami is as powerful as their offense is, and you score 38 points, your defense is content on giving up points all the time. They're not even, it don't even seem like they try to stop anybody. So we knew it was only a matter of time. I didn't think that this would happen the way that it did, but I'm also not surprised. That's just what Miami does. And then, I mean, you also have to remember you have a quarterback who is highly motivated. And you don't think he was watching the score of that Ohio State game before, during, and after?
Oh, yeah. Kyle McCord, when he was talking about everything comes full circle, Kyle McCord beating Miami the same day Michigan lost. Ohio State lost to Michigan. His quote, if I'm not mistaken, was, hey, man, it seemed like y'all left y'all quarterback. Hey, and shout out. This is why you hire the blacks. They have been trolling Ohio State all year. He was like, hey, I told y'all it wasn't me. Fran Brown was like, hey, thank you for sending me Kyle McCord. Said that straight to the folks.
And McCord, he hasn't had a perfect season, but he's had a damn good season at Syracuse. I think he has their touchdown record, which means that he passed Donovan McSlab. So yeah, they ain't playing, and he's another guy who will actually probably fall in the draft. He'll fall so far that he'll end up with a decent team.
And will be the backup for 10 years. Ended up being
and gets time to actually develop. And by the time that you actually see him on the field, he might be good by then.
Yep. So Fran Brown and Fran, I told Fran was a good coach at UGA. He shouted out Kirby when they won. He was like, Kirby was the one that, helped me really learn how to recruit. Well, improve my recruit. He already knew how to recruit because you wouldn't have been hired if you didn't know how to recruit. He then made a play on when he talked about I don't deserve soap. Winners get washed. He doesn't take a shower after he loses. He then plays and says, that. Hey, I get to, he said, guess what? I getting washed tonight. Hey, because he won as he's sitting there with his son. And then, if that's not it, I believe he talked about, he said to Dabo Sweeney, told Dabo, yo, you're welcome. So this win not only helped them, it knocked out Miami.
I got you in, pause if applicable there, because he literally got them into the playoffs.
By knocking Miami out. Yep.
Yeah. So, number one, you owe him a solid. Number two, stop saying I get washed. You sound like a pet or an animal. Just shower, bro. Just shower. Shower whether you win or lose. And I did not take that. It's Syracuse. It's Syracuse. It's going to be many a night that you don't bathe if it's wins or losses. Just shower. Just get in that hot water.
That he was going to get a reward for winning. I thought that's how I took that. He got a reward for winning.
A shower should not be a reward. That should be just a thing that
somebody bathing you could be.
Oh, I see. Oh yeah, if I can't get into bed when I lose, then yeah, when I do win.
In another upset, South Carolina, which I called this one. I told y'all South Carolina was going to beat Clemson. South Carolina beats Clemson 17-14 and stays. You've got to assume that South Carolina is the hottest team in the nation. They are now ranked, I believe, in the AP poll. They are ranked number 13. And I don't think anybody wants to see South Carolina.
I know they don't want to see that defensive line. Now, unless you enjoy having bad days. I don't. I for sure don't enjoy having bad days. So what I typically try to do is get away from stuff like that because it's not going to be enjoyable. And playing South Carolina is not going to be enjoyable in a way that you are going to enjoy. Clemson, maybe you tried the transfer portal. We tried to tell you that you should, but you knew better than everybody else. So I don't care.
Dabo got to go Clemson, got to go transfer portal. He's got to. You are doing a disservice to your program if you're not going to play within the rules that are allowed. You're literally handicapping yourself for no reason. You can't do that, man.
Also, somebody is going to tell you here in a second what you're going to do and what you're not going to do.
What you mean?
Hey, Dabo, you want this job? Then get in the portal.
Oh,
you don't want this job? Then don't get in the portal. But we're not playing with you no more. That you think that you have all the keys and the answers? That's done.
We were talking about what were we talking about? We're talking about
Ryan. We're talking about Ohio State, Ryan McCord. I mean, we kind of covered a couple things.
Yeah, I think we were at South Carolina and Dabo. So Dabo is going to have to figure out what he's going to do in terms of, yeah, you're right. If he doesn't, you're right. If he doesn't go to the transfer portal, they're going to get rid of you.
Rightfully so. This is it. You, Army, Navy, Air Force. The only folks who not using transfer portal. They can. And then you lose to South Carolina, which is not a terrible loss, but you're Clemson and they're South Carolina. It's just not supposed to happen.
And a quarterback can't throw. He beat y'all with his legs.
Correct.
So
And you just look stupid. You like the one guy who I'm not going to use the internet to do my schoolwork.
oh yeah, let me keep looking stuff up.
Yeah. At what point do you say, you know what? I should just use common sense. But I think I saw him come out with something and say that Clemson now is going to have all the money. I got to do a little bit more research to make sure, but I do believe he's changed his tune.
Somebody
And I
tapped
don't
him on
know
the
if he did
shoulder.
it
Hey.
or somebody, one of them donors said, "Hey, I spend the most money to be here. You're going to do what I tell you to, or you can go home."
And I think he's probably going to end up retiring soon, because that's one thing that the NIL does do is you lose control, which is why Nick Saban, part of the reason Nick Saban, well, it is the reason Nick Saban left. So I mean, eventually,
yeah, for sure.
that's gonna happen. So back to it. We back. Upset City is over with. We talked about Miami over Syracuse. I mean, Syracuse over Miami, Clemson over South Carolina again, Michigan over OSU. Let's talk about some close calls.
And while we talking about Florida, before we get to Georgia, I mean, Florida might give Miami a run for their money right now. No joke.
With that
Miami's
defense,
definitely
yeah.
had a better season, but if
Miami
they
ain't
had to play
nobody.
right now,
Florida's defense with DJ Lagway, the way their confidence is, Florida's probably a team that I wouldn't want to see, which
oh no, definitely not right now.
sucks because they had the tough. They are probably Miami. If you really want me to answer the question, Florida is probably Miami. A better defense, a worse offense. But in terms of totality, they are Miami, just with an SEC schedule. Miami probably goes 7-5, 8-4, 6. One of those if they play in the SEC.
And the frustrating part for me is, I think that they could have probably been a really good team if you just start the season with DJ Lagway instead of Graham Mertz, which is always my biggest request was he doesn't fit in our timeline. It doesn't make any sense to play Graham Mertz. He's going somewhere next year. Now he ain't going nowhere. He's going to get a job. But had you had that opportunity to develop Lagway, and I think Lagway was just better every day. Every time we've seen Lagway play, he's been better than Graham Mertz. He's made this team look better. He's made every player look better. Billy Napier has flipped all these guys because they see what Lagway presents. And for me, had he picked the right quarterback in the beginning, we don't have this problem. But that's the same reason I think that he still needs to be fired. You can't trust him to make the right decision.
It's the same. It's the gift and the curse of loyalty. It's the same thing Georgia has, which is why Georgia, and I think you're going to see Billy kind of do the same thing when it comes to recruiting, which is why Georgia takes 37 people per class, or 35 now, because Kirby is super loyal. And he's loyal to the walk-on. He's loyal to the 3-star. He's loyal to the person that's like him. And he ends up not playing the 5-star because the 5-star, he hates entitlement. It's the same thing. That's why you got Dan Jackson and Cash Jones and all of these guys playing that aren't good, that are walk-ons, and they're starting over 5-stars. Because they put themselves before the team, and then they know this is pretty much it. I ain't got to preserve my body to go to the. Graham Mertz ain't about to be nobody good. But Graham Mertz came to Billy when everybody was down on Billy, and he was like, all right, well, I'm rocking with you. It's loyalty.
That's all well and cool, but
when you win.
At the end of the day, you win, bro. This is Florida. I don't give a damn about your loyalty. I want you to win. You think I cared about like Steve Spurrier loyalty? I don't care about that. No, win. Step on in. You have to understand the Florida culture is what it is. The culture is win or go home.
Yep. But we'll get to. We got some more. Go ahead. We got
It's
some
just
more to
step
talk
on their
about with
neck.
Billy.
And you don't got that. But we stuck with him. You jinxed me, but fuck it. It is
I
what it
told
is.
you. I read the tea leaves. We'll get back to Florida because let's talk about some winners. Let's talk about Georgia.
Boy, you can go to hell. And winners, boy,
Yeah.
barely.
Georgia. I always say I said this is gonna be the game of the year, but at this point, you don't know what's gonna happen in the championship games. But Georgia played Georgia Tech, a good Georgia Tech team. And this is probably in the last 5 years Georgia's worst team. And Georgia Tech and Georgia played 8 overtimes. 8 overtimes, and Georgia outlasted Georgia Tech 44-42, which is the most in this rivalry's history. Second most in college football, which was 9 overtimes back in 2014, I believe. Georgia beats Georgia Tech. I said if you go back and follow us on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, our social media, I said Georgia Tech is here to stay. They have a new NIL collective, which was a big reason why they got their transfers from Auburn, Florida, and Texas A&M. And those 3 players were really, really good. The offensive coordinator studied up under Todd Monken in that 2022 Georgia team that broke all the records and beat TCU 65-7 in the national championship game. He's a product of that. They have the air raid offense mixed with the zone read. Haynes King played his ass off, but at the end of the day, SEC has the bigger athlete. Georgia Tech, if you look at this picture for the video experience, this is indicative of what it was like for Georgia Tech to play Georgia. Everybody on Georgia Tech was smaller than Georgia. Every skill position. I think Georgia Tech had 1 offensive line. They had 2 offensive linemen. Their tackles are bookend. They are good. But outside of that, Georgia Tech is a small team. And at the end of the day, I think 5 DBs got hurt against Georgia. And Georgia Tech was up 17-0 at halftime. And then in the third quarter, Georgia just started hurting everybody. Not dirty, just I'm bigger than you. I'm stronger than you. We not scheming nothing up. They ran 1 reverse, but we ain't doing nothing after that. And we just going to play. And that ended up getting them in the game. Now, Georgia Tech scheme-wise was fantastic. What's happening?
Georgia Tech wins on the fact that most people have not seen this offense all season. When you get it, it's a shocker.
Oh, well, yeah.
And then all of the techniques that you've learned and practiced all season, you kind of got to throw them out and just play assignment football. And that's where most players, especially, you're going to go back to your natural habits because you implement this game plan for a couple days and then you're going to go right back to doing what you was doing before. But if you're not ready for that, they're going to trip up everybody who doesn't prepare for that. And that's their biggest selling point. Do I think that Georgia Tech is now mysteriously like a good football team? No, they're still probably
that's right.
a
You
mediocre.
stay be talking trash. They beat Miami.
That's not trash. It's just like, I'm just realistic. I'm not a person who gets too high or too low on people because of a little intermittent success. If they can show me continuous success and win, like at the end of the day, SMU still showed up in your trap, took it over. Like, if y'all were going to be good, then how'd y'all let that happen? And I think that SMU will be better than them again next year and the year after. That's just who Georgia Tech is. Know your now, respect them for ruining people's lives, but that's about it. They're never going to contend for even an ACC title. And if you can't contend for an ACC title, I can't say that you're a good football team because I
1000% disagree. Because the ACC is weak. This Miami thing is new. They ain't been good. SMU first year in the league. Shocker. Like, and then you have Clemson, who, well, now they're going to enter the portal, but they were refusing to enter the portal. So I don't know if Georgia Tech is going to be weak, and this guy is recruiting his ass off.
Right, going somewhere else soon.
And I also didn't know what you were talking about. I thought so. They didn't play SMU this year.
No. I didn't. I wasn't talking about them playing SMU. What I'm saying is Georgia Tech has had ample opportunity to be a good team in the ACC. They've never been a good team in the ACC. SMU has showed up and taken over
never?
the ACC.
Like ever?
When
Are you
was
saying
it?
ever?
When was it? During my lifetime, Georgia Tech has never been like a real thing.
They went to the okay. They went to the Orange Bowl. I mean,
Yeah.
They won the ACC a few times.
I'm no. Don't trust them. Don't respect them. Are they top 25?
No. They're not top 25. When they were ranked, they lost to Syracuse by 3, 31-28. They lost to Louisville 31-19. They lost to Notre Dame 31-13. And they lost to Virginia Tech 21-6.
Yeah, you're not good.
But
you had some good games though.
But their quarterback didn't play in those games. Haynes King, the quarterback that had 450 yards against Georgia, didn't play in 3 of those 4 games. He was hurt.
Okay. Well,
no, because you can't say the same thing about DJ Lagway, and that Florida should have played DJ Lagway to play the better quarterback, and then say Georgia Tech, even though Haynes King, who was their starting quarterback, you can't say that wouldn't have made a difference. They won all but one game that he played, except for Georgia, before Georgia.
Okay, so I want to do better in 2025 in communication. Are you telling me you think Georgia Tech is a good football team?
I think they'll be a good football team next year. Yes.
And when you say a good football team, like they'll just play good in games, or do you think they'll be like a top 25 team? Do you think?
I think that they could contend for the ACC, a spot in the ACC championship game.
Okay. Do you think they'll be better than Florida State next year?
I don't know. I don't know what Florida State about to do. I think so. I don't know. I don't know what Florida State's about to do. It's hard for you to predict who's going to be better than who in that case because of the NIL. But what I'm talking about is what I see with the system that Georgia Tech has put in. They were winning with 5'2" dudes. Like they out there.
I want to be very clear because I know a lot of times y'all take this as hate. I'm just skeptical. I would love to see Georgia Tech be good. It will bring joy to my heart to see Georgia Tech be good. I would much rather see Georgia Tech win the ACC than anybody else. I would love to be able to root and support Georgia Tech. And now had they won that game, I was for sure finna be Rambling Wreck. Go Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, you went real mute. That boy didn't say nothing the whole game. I know you had the thumb ready to call me.
I was quiet. I was quiet the whole weekend, honestly. Yeah, nobody. Yeah, I was. It wasn't just that. It was. Now I did see that, and it did bring me immense joy. But
ooh, that was fire.
It was great. Shout out,
Cash.
Go ahead, get your point off. Shout out to you. Get your point out, and then I will.
No, Georgia, it was just a fire. Your frat brother scored, caught a touchdown, and then Cash they timed up the fireworks for them to explode when during the celebration, and it was fire. It's a great recruiting moment for the fireworks and everything. Great recruiting moment.
Shout out to the Qs for bringing y'all once again what I deem to be the second best video of this football season. Only behind my Neo hopping on a U-Haul. But this here is right there. You throw up the hooks, the helmet tap, the explosion. That's going to be a lot of clips. That's a lot of hype video clips for the next 20 years. That's when you clip it up, you put it on there, and yeah, this could be it.
Yep. So moving on. That was a close game. Georgia won, so that is one half of the SEC championship. The other half was decided when Texas and Texas A&M renewed their rivalry. If you know, they haven't played in years since Texas A&M left to join the SEC. Left the Big 12. Texas then comes and joins the SEC. So of course they renew the rivalry. Texas ends up winning 17-7 in a hard fought game. Hard fought game, and now you get the rematch of Texas and Texas A&M. But before we get to the rematch, this was the beginning of the game. A man was riding a horse, and another man and his dog were riding a Longhorn on campus. I don't want to hear y'all talk about nothing about HBCUs and homecoming and having fun and everything. He wore a 10-gallon hat with his dog and rode a steer on the campus. And they said he agreed to leave campus, which means you can't tell him to move. What you gonna do? What you gonna do to the steer? Nothing.
There's a couple things here. I'm from the era where you had to go see a man about a dog and you had to go see a man about a horse. We have found both the man with the horse and the man with the dog. Now, the other part is your boy Radmanovov would have fried that horse up. He's right over that steer. I want that horse. I want you. I like you. And I'm going to have you. Now, you get off by lunch, or I can get you off this lunch. But one thing for sure is that horse is for eating, not for riding.
Yeah.
Every now and then you say something just to shake him up a little bit on the pod, man. But look at the dog on the steer.
Been there before. I know how to balance myself. he probably
if you notice, he was looking over the man's shoulder, like he was holding him down, like, yo, if something creep up, I'll let you know, dog. You just take care of the front, and I'll just, watch the perimeter, make sure nothing get to shaking. And these other people here are perfectly cool with this large free running steer. Now, this is very similar to the steer that the University of Texas brings out before games, which it takes 6 humans. 6
Bebo,
humans.
was it Bebo?
Yeah, Bevo. Now, in this case, it's just a man, and this man has a dog with it.
Yeah, if that horse got mad, I mean, if that steer got mad, there's nothing that you can do except for shoot it.
Cook it. Y'all want hamburgers?
Man, so SEC championship, man, it's a rematch. You got Georgia, Texas. Georgia went to Texas, walked in their trap, took over their trap. That's the saying of the year. Talking a lot of trash.
We're retiring that in 2024 too. We're gonna leave that with standing on business.
But Texas is revenge minded, and they are going to come in. Now, the thing about this game was they ain't look good offensively. They ain't look impressive. Like, Arch Manning ran the ball. What?
Wait. Arch Manning threw like 2 passes, 2 touchdowns.
They only scored 2.
Every time he came in, and he scored both of them touchdowns.
He ran the ball, 1.
No, one of them was a pass into the
one was a pass, and one was a rush. His first touch in the game was a 20-yard quarterback sweep. Not a sneak, it was a sweep. Now,
that's
the throw...
That's a problem for y'all.
No. But that pass that he threw in the corner...
For y'all, I'm not talking about this year. Future.
Oh, yeah. Next year going to be scared.
When you already know, and everybody minus Florida looking for a quarterback. Oh, boy, we really need a quarterback. He over there like, funny story. I got 2 of them.
Well, we ain't got to play them next year. We play Oklahoma. We ain't got to play them next year. We good to go.
Okay, you'll see. SEC championship.
Hey, you gotta make it. Hey, you can't count them chickens before they hatch. You think they're gonna make it next year? We don't know. You can't predict nothing because of the portal.
No, you can't predict nothing until day one. Well, who do you have on your team still? That's the question we need to ask.
But that's gonna be a crazy game. So Texas ends up.
I think the Arch Manning also gonna make sure that the Arch, all of the Mannings, Peyton, Eli, Danny Manning, whoever.
Yep. Now there's another team that's gonna end up making the playoff now, and it's the University of Tennessee. The University of Tennessee beat Vanderbilt in what some people were saying was probably going to be the best game between these two in years.
I mean, is this any different? No, I disagree with that. I think that James Franklin Vanderbilt team probably better, and the Tennessee team at that point was worse. So the teams are probably better, but Tennessee is just better than they're not as close as they would have been during that time period when when Tennessee was still trending downward and Vandy was playing really the best football since they've played today. That's the last time they were good.
Vandy had a chance to win this game, but they kept making mistakes, and then Tennessee, Nico Amaliva, and his is really I am a Liava, but him and his receiver number one, they basically just beat Vanderbilt. They beat that one corner the whole game. They just tagged him whole second half. We going at you. But interesting about I don't know if I necessarily believe in Tennessee, not because they lost against Georgia, because they were winning against Georgia. But what I did notice was, and this stat came up, Nico's thrown 15 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Admirable for a true freshman. Redshirt freshman, I'm sorry. But 12 of his 15 TDs came against Kent State, Mississippi State, Chattanooga, NC State, and UTEP going into this game. He has struggled. And it looks like we about to get the struggle bowl in the playoffs. You're gonna get Tennessee, all right, and you're gonna get Tennessee, and you're gonna get Ohio State. That's probably gonna happen. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is 12 out of 15 with these games puts a lot of context.
Why you be losing? That's why they lost to Arkansas and Georgia.
Yeah. Tennessee is in that weird category of I see the promise, but I know you. I know you. As long as I know you, that means I'm going to have to watch you a little differently. I can't trust that. So for me, no, it's, I can't. I know what you're capable of. I know what you do well. I also know what you don't do well. And I think you're going to struggle. But it also depends on who they get matched up against. I would love to see them against Indiana, Notre Dame, all of those scams.
I think Notre Dame gets Tennessee.
I'm okay with that. It's not that I don't like Notre Dame. Just give them somebody to let them win or lose.
So
that's a catch.
You got Tennessee. Tennessee's okay. So really, those were all the close. Oh, well, we can get to Florida and Georgia. I mean, Florida and Florida State. It don't really have no bearing on.
I mean, no. I mean, yeah. The only thing that I wanted to talk about was I have to give credit where credit is due. Billy is doing something special right now. I hate it. It doesn't exactly make me feel good about the future, but I also understand when somebody's doing something right, and that's just where he is right now.
How you feel about them hiring Gus Malzahn as the new offensive coordinator? That's at Florida State. I'm sorry. Gus Malzahn is the new offensive coordinator at Florida State. That's going to be interesting. He's basically got the upgraded version of Billy Napier's offense. So it's. I don't think
This don't move me.
It don't make a big difference this year. It won't make a big difference this year coming up because their recruiting class took such a big hit because they were so terrible this year that their recruiting class took a huge hit. But the year after next year, 2026, this because he played. One thing Gus Malzahn does is play fun football. He's wide open. He plays fast. They throw the ball. A dual threat quarterback would love to play at Florida State under Gus Malzahn. And Mike Norvell, is going to be your job to get the defense ready because you better be conditioned because they do a lot of 3 and outs too now.
Nah, your job is going to be able to find if your team can find its identity again, its self-respect again. It's not the display I think the Florida State's kind of in the same boat that Florida was in. They just never had a chance to really kind of turn it around, flip it back around. You have good players on that team. I'm convinced of it. It's the same thing I told you about Florida early in the season. I said Billy Napier just sucks. Those players are good. And when Lagway showed up, it was like, oh, well, this guy is competent and capable. We can do something. And immediately, Florida went from, hey, we surely going to get our ass kicked every game to, y'all play with us if you want to. We'll slap you in the face.
Yep. Yeah, so Florida State got Gus Malzahn at offensive coordinator. Then they bring in Nebraska's defensive coordinator, Tony White, who kind of restored the tradition of the black shirts to Nebraska. They almost upset Ohio State. They blew out Colorado. And I do like these 2 moves for Florida State. But it's, again, y'all know what happens when you start hiring and firing coordinators. Eventually, you next. That's at any level. Once the coordinators get fired, then the next thing is the coaches. So hopefully they can turn it around at Florida State because when Florida and Florida State both are good and play against each other, and Miami, when the state of Florida has good football, the rest of the rest of college football has good football because they basically gonna beat each other up, and it's fun to watch. And there's so much culture. Individual football culture in Florida.
James for a pick 6.
Whatever. Used to that. Kirk Cousins is my player.
I mean, but he also had 400 and some yards.
Kirk Cousins.
They put too much in his plate. But with that being said, yeah, none of these moves really mean anything to me because I don't think that these moves, I don't think that the coaches suddenly suck. I think that they took a bad beat at the end of last season, and that shook them up in a way that they never recovered from.
Yeah. And finally, to end that Florida State talk, what did I tell you about Billy? What did I tell you that he was going to be to Florida? What did I tell you? What did I tell you he was going to be? Tell me.
No,
remind me real quick.
He will not be Mark Richt. He won't be around that long.
What did you say about Mark Richt? What did you say about Mark Richt? They always get what?
Gator.
They always get the what? Top what?
Yeah.
2-3 recruiting classes.
Yes.
They always have these great players that are great after they leave Florida. We told you Billy was going to win. I told you he was going to win just enough to get confidence to stay. They beat a tired LSU team. They beat Florida State. I told you, and I told you that they were going to get a decent recruiting class. It's right there.
Yes, but this is a little different.
Tell me how.
And if Billy was able to honestly be as good as Mark Richt was consistently, I would probably be okay with that considering how terribly we've been lately. This is just a one-off. I mean, we've been terrible since he's been there. Billy doesn't have a winning record. This is Billy's first winning season. So for me, no, we're not. This is going to be a one-time deal. One chance to have the number 1 quarterback. Florida hasn't had an elite recruiting class every year that he's been there. No, this is the sun shines on a dog's ass. That's all this is.
I mean,
Billy sucks.
Next year.
He clearly can't even identify the best quarterback on his own team. Injuries are the
Them
only
boys
reason
still
that
mad
Billy got a
about that.
job.
Them boys
Yes.
still
Grant,
mad.
you're not finna remake me mad. You make bad decisions. It's gonna be more bad decisions. I'm just gonna have to struggle through it through another season. I see that everybody seems to be playing well enough that nobody's going anywhere. It looks like, yeah. Try again next year, Norwood. I'm not crazy though. I'm not crazy. Because I'm gonna tell you, if you still go in there and look, the fans know. The fans are very clear about it. Billy sucks. But we can't fire him now because you don't want to lose Lagway. And I can get it because Lagway,
He's a beast. He's a problem. Real quick, who's your Heisman winner? Dylan Gabriel, Ashton Genty, Cam Ward, or Travis Hunter?
I can only see two teams up here. I see Boise in Colorado, Cam Ward, you can go on to the house. Dylan Gabriel, you can surely go to the house too. It's Ashton Genty or Travis Hunter. It's tricky because I honestly think that both of these guys 100% deserve it. Ashton Genty deserves it because every other running back who's had stats that are close to his, because his stats are better than all the rest of the running backs, have all won the Heisman. Travis Hunter is doing something that's otherworldly. I don't find it to be fair that the one time that it's not a quarterback award, that those two got to share it. There is a part of me that thinks that like they should both be co-Heisman winners, but this is literally going to be pick your own poison. The one thing that Ashton Genty has that that he has so many more rushing yards. You can just use his rushing yards after the first hit, and he's still the rushing yard leader.
Yeah, after
That's
contact.
absurd.
Yeah, he's kind of crazy. He's 5'9" and he's 230, 225. That already tells you, and if you've played sports, that is like trying to tackle a ball bearing.
A rock.
That is trying to tackle a cannonball. If you've ever had to lift a ball bearing, it's very, very small and compact, and it weighs a ton. And he's fast.
Good place. That's the thing about playing against smaller players is, especially running back, there's not a good place to hit them. Like, you're dealing with a receiver. I can grab your ankle.
Ooh.
It's just places where I can attempt to bring you down. At that height and that strength, man.
And then he has balance. He's got balance. So, like, he has a low center of gravity, and then he has balance. There's really not much you can do. But Travis Hunter, dog, he's doing... I think there's only one or two people that have ever had 3 touchdowns and an interception in one game. And he's done that, like, 3 times this year.
3 times. 3 times. Yeah, and then they just went ballistic on Oklahoma State. So, I mean,
yes, I want to ask you a question about that.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Went blurry. As soon as I said I want to ask you a question. Is it time for Oklahoma State to fire Mike Gundy? They don't look competitive. They don't even look relevant anymore. I don't even know if they were ever relevant.
He's new.
But
Dabo.
they don't
new
look...
Dabo. So
no, Dabo got 2 national championships. You better not be disrespectful. You better not be disrespectful.
They're comfortable with him. Like he fits their, for lack of a better term, he fits their profile of what they're looking for in a coach. So you're right. He's not. I mean, he don't have the championships or any of those type of things. But I think that the boosters like him, and I don't know. I mean, if you can find something better for Oklahoma State, then sure. But I'm not sure how or where you find that or what that looks like.
Well, they got the money too. That's for sure. They got the money, and the money can make it. They got a lot of money. But back to Travis Hunter.
That's also the new. That's the new thing now is, I mean, before Now spend the money. If you got the collective, if you spend it, they will come.
Yeah. Now, Travis Hunter and Shador have already said they out of there, which, I mean, we knew they were
Travis Hunter's
leaving.
not said that yet.
I mean, he out of there.
Travis has not made that statement yet, but he is out of there for sure.
He's out of there. The Jim Thorpe Award finalists were announced. Travis Hunter does not have. He's going to be a Heisman finalist, but he will not be finalist for the best defensive back in the nation.
Trash.
I can't believe that. I can't believe it. I'm a Georgia fan, and I love Malachi Starks, and I love Caleb Downs, and I love the Texas DB. I can't remember his name right now, but there's no way. There's no way that you don't have. Look, he's got 55 tackles, 1 interception, 2 passes defended. He's the quarterback. Caleb Downs, 50 tackles, 3 passes defended, a half a sack. Jahdae Barron, 41 tackles, 4 interceptions, 8 passes defended. Travis Hunter has more. Now, the other 2 guys are safeties, so it's a little bit more difficult for them to get interceptions. But Travis Hunter has more interceptions, more forced fumbles. I don't think he has any tackles because they don't throw the ball to him. And just the eye test alone, he's making breaks on passes that your NFL corners can't make. He's going over and around receivers while playing on offense. I can't believe that he's not a finalist for best cornerback player.
This is trash.
Of the year.
That's all this is. This is trash. Like him or don't like him, you have to respect that he's top 3 defensive back in college football, hands down. And he's the only person who's played this many reps. He's playing 2 football games every time. And so I don't even have a lot to say about this. Kudos to Dion for saying that he gives him his Thorpe Award.
Which you should.
Or yeah, I mean, honestly, you should, because you put a lot on Travis's back. But at the same time, he shouldn't have to. This is just like this is the different. This is bias. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely it's
just bias.
It's bias. It's some hate. It's some hate for Dion. Unfortunately, this is kind of what you knew was going to happen because Dion is Dion. He's so loud and confident that people weren't going to like him. But there's no way. With the way that they've been ranking the college football playoff teams and the way that now they're starting to announce these finalists, I'm losing confidence in all of the decision makers. Like, it doesn't make sense.
And every time that happens, the decision makers lose more power.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick before we go, Arizona State's coach has been in the news for some negative things, especially with the way that it ended. The game ended last week after he was cussing out the officials, and then he also talked about we're having open tryouts for kickers and admonishing his kicker and all of those things publicly, which he regretted. But he did get some of that back with Kenny Dillingham gives a 6-figure bonus to the off-the-field staffers. The off-the-field staffers didn't know that they were going to get a bonus. What he did was he took his bonus and divided it amongst them. And I think it ended up being about $5,000 per person. He got a $200K bonus, and he gave all 20 off the field staffers between $5,000 and $10,000 per person. He's giving them his bonus. That's a fire move. Know your bread and butter.
This is how this is how your team grows respect for you. This is how your coaching staff grows respect for you, and especially the way that this thing goes and coaches go on places. You might be the head coach today, might be the assistant coach tomorrow. if people are looking to hire you, they gonna remember when you said, "Hey, bro, you didn't have to break me off that little TK. My family needed that, bro. My family sure needed that."
And on the other side too,
So
your off the field staffers normally they're normally really young. So they turn into your assistants. They turn to your grad assistants, your analysts, your assistant to the assistant recruiting linebacker coach. They're the ones that really know your program inside and out.
that's how a lot of the athletes who your Graham Mertz of the world, the guys who I just graduated from school. No, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny about that, but that's just where most of them start. Like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna go do this. I want to be a part of the program. I forgot the kid who retired from college football and then went right into like being a GA. But that's a normal matriculation. So yeah, you're investing in your present and your future because once again, you'll never know who's gonna turn into Sean McVay.
Yeah.
Or Michael McDaniel.
Yeah. Yeah. What else we got? We got somebody that didn't get fired. Or let's talk about a coaching carousel, then we'll get into the conference championship games. Kent State has not won a game. They went 0-12 this year. The first FBS team to finish winless in a full season. I think they've won one game in the last 2 years. They are down bad. I remember
they'll fire you.
He got hired in 2022. So I think he has one. They're gonna, if they can find somebody else, they'll probably fire him. But they are 1-23 in the last 2 seasons. They've lost 21 games.
And you black, you know what that mean. You know what that mean.
In the heartland, man.
Fired. Son.
They gonna call you a
12. We can't. Hey, SplashCast can't even bump for you, bro.
So that's one that's open. We told y'all that what was about to happen in North Carolina. We told y'all that was about to happen. Mac Brown finally gets fired. What's interesting is they tried to let Mac Brown leave gracefully. They tried to allow him. No, they did. They tried to allow him to retire. And he went on that press conference last week and said, "I have no plans of retiring." Well, okay. You are now fired. You lost to, I'm sorry, it was this week. It was this weekend. After they lost North Carolina State, your rival, he said, "I have no plans of retiring," even though everybody knows that you should retire. Everybody knows you should have been gone. You like,
I don't know that he should retire. He's the best coach in UNC history.
What does that mean?
Now,
he's not winning.
Well, I mean,
can't talk about how bad the ACC is and then say you not winning is okay.
We're at a basketball school. That winning has never been our thing. And if y'all didn't put all the money into the basketball team, then we might be.
That's excuse. That's an excuse. No.
Okay. So what was the expectation for UNC going into the season?
Whatever it is, it ain't this.
Okay, that's fine. You finna be the new Tennessee. They fired Phil.
That would be a step up. That would be a step up for UNC to be the new Tennessee. That would be a step up.
No. When I say the new Tennessee, not like them being good. I mean, they're going to be the new Tennessee and they're going to get rid of the guy who's the best guy that's ever been there. And then you have 20 years of struggle. That's what I mean. Don't be that Tennessee. Be new Tennessee.
Oh, man.
But you're going to be old Tennessee. And we going to see. And I'm going to love it.
Honestly, I don't think anything's going to change. Unless they go get a rock star of a coordinator, if they can find their Shane Beamer, I think they have the potential to be the South Carolina of the ACC for sure. I mean, they got Drake May. They got a top 3 draft pick. I mean, you got to do something. You had 2 NFL quarterbacks in the last 4 years, and you haven't been good. Trust me, I'm a Georgia fan. I know when you don't have an NFL quarterback.
Hold on, Drake May. Who's the other quarterback?
His brother, Sean May.
Oh, you're right.
NFL. Mid in the NFL don't mean He was decent. He was pretty good at North Carolina, actually. Pretty good.
Okay. I'm not fighting people in 2025 on doing stupid things. I'm letting them do stupid things, and I'm going to just remind them.
3-5 in the ACC. Yeah. They lost to Boston College, Georgia Tech, Pitt, Duke. They got beat by James Madison 70-50. You don't remember? You thought that was last year. It was so long ago, don't you? You thought that was last year. No. That was in September at home.
Okay.
And if you remember, the people left in the third at halftime.
You're going to end up in the same situation.
You can't have people leave at halftime. That means, and that's boosters. Now you giving the power to the boosters because you getting beat by James Madison 70-50.
And then go ahead, show who they call first. This is how I know you finna go from bad to worse.
Oh yeah, I can't defend this. I can't defend this.
I can.
So Arthur Smith has confirmed that he has been in conversation with North Carolina about his head coaching vacancy. I can't condemn or defend this. Coaches that come from the NFL to college, some of them tend to be pretty good. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying he's going to do it because also
if
Georgia's
it was your team,
defensive
how would you
coordinator.
feel?
I would say everybody. I wouldn't assume that he's going to do it. They're also talking to Glenn Schumann, who is the defensive coordinator for Georgia.
If it was your team, how would you feel
about Arthur Smith? Knowing about Arthur Smith, I wouldn't want it. But I'm also scorned.
I got Billy Napier, and I don't want Arthur Smith. It's like all these terrible coaches just follow me from one place to the next, just being terrible. Is Brian Snicker the only coach that I think is actually good?
Brian Snicker.
Did I have?
Who's he?
The Braves.
Oh, man, they talking about firing him too. Oh, man. And look, man, we told y'all about Heartland Country.
The one coach that I do.
We told y'all about Heartland Country. Indiana. Purdue fires their coach Ryan Walters after 2 seasons. He got hired. He was supposed to be the next James Franklin. But I mean,
because he light skinned?
He came from Vanderbilt.
Oh, all right.
See, look at you.
Because he light skinned. Nope, because he light skinned.
No, he came from Vanderbilt.
He looks like
James Franklin came from Vanderbilt. He had a good 2-3 year run and went to Penn State, and now he's in the fell clutch of being number 3 behind Oregon and Ohio State. Vanderbilt, he had a 2 or 3 year. He had a 2-year run at Vanderbilt, 2 or 3 year run at Vanderbilt, and then he ended up going to Purdue. It's just Purdue is Purdue, and Purdue will never be as good as Ohio State, as Oregon, as USC, as Michigan, as Penn State. They are going to be forever number 5. If there's anybody that I think deserved time, it was him. What did you expect, Purdue?
Wait, Reggie. You sure this the battle you want to?
I mean, he's terrible. They're terrible. But I mean, you asked me, what did I expect of Mac Brown at UNC? What did you expect of Purdue? What did you expect?
I didn't expect 0-9, 1-11 overall, 1-5 at home, 0-6.
Why? Who are they gonna beat?
Maryland and Northwestern.
They weren't better. Northwestern, I'll give you that. They're not better than Maryland. They're not better than Indiana. They're not better than Oregon.
That's fine. If you can't do that, then you have to go home.
Who like, you gonna find that can do that? Is my point.
Now, Purdue is not a top tier football school, but you can't be worse than Rutgers.
Yes, you can.
Okay, it's fine.
They've been worse than
Rutgers.
Your things. Isn't Shiano at Rutgers? They've been worse. They've been worse at Rutgers. Yes, but I don't know what the expectations are at Purdue because Purdue isn't good. What expectations could you possibly
Rutgers
have?
was 3-6 last year. Purdue was 3-6 last year.
Okay, so y'all fighting.
Purdue was 6-3 in 2022, 2023. They were
That was
number
him.
1 in the Big Ten West.
That was him, right?
Yeah, and then if you do that, then yes, you fell off. Everything says you deserve to be fired, my boy.
Okay, if you deserve to be fired, and you gonna give that UNC is a basketball school, Purdue is a basketball school, 100% a basketball school. They're like number 2 in the nation right now.
Yeah, but I don't see. I see Purdue as a middle of the road Big Ten school, and I see them. I mean, as a decent basketball school. But yeah, you're gonna be the worst in Big Ten. 2 years, they're gonna fire you. I have no issues with him being fired. I don't like to see young black men be fired, but
he's gonna end up being a coordinator somewhere, and he's gonna be really good. He's known for his defense. I don't know what you gonna do.
Than Northwestern. No,
come on to Georgia, dog.
Let me tell you, there are a couple teams that if you find that they're higher on the record than you should be looking for a new job. Northwestern, hell, even UCLA. Deshaun Foster done more with UCLA than you did with Purdue.
UCLA is in LA.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's a black coach with a whole black staff. It just kind of took over a UCLA
in LA with Big Ten money.
Yeah,
y'all. The expectations for Purdue have to be tempered. There's you don't even put enough money in the NIL to compete with anybody else. You're going to be number 7 forever. No matter what coach you get at Purdue, y'all going to be number 7 forever. Y'all going to always Oregon, USC, UCLA, Ohio State, Penn State, maybe Indiana. That's going to be it. That's 6 teams right there.
Yeah, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 teams in this conference.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it might be 6 better than you. It can't be another 11.
Yeah, it can. All right. We going to see. It's funny how the roles have flipped on this one. We going to see. I expect Purdue to be terrible for a long time. I don't expect for them to be good unless they get all transfers and they decide to pay everybody all the money, which you can't because Ohio State and Michigan have more money than you. So there's no way.
Let's also be real here. Neither one of us care about Purdue, and neither one of us have any expectation.
Yeah, but this man about to be fired though. Let me tell y'all, we told y'all he was going to be fired as soon as they hired him. We told you, let me tell you, I told you Brian Kelly was going to be fired the day that he went out at that pep rally at LSU and put on that fake Cajun accent. I said, oh, okay. You out of there, big dog. And you out there with LSU. Now, you did have a lot of injuries, but they going to fire you, dog. I think, didn't you say, yeah, the fans were chanting, fire Kelly. And the last game, the whole stadium.
This is stupid. This is stupid. For surely stupid.
For who?
Like LSU fans. You have a lot of hubris to yell fire Brian Kelly. Now, sure, the season hasn't gone the way that you thought it was, but for sure, there are not that many coaches that are better than Brian Kelly that are available.
That are available, no. That are okay. Well, yeah, no. I LSU's LSU. Somebody will become available if you fire Brian Kelly. He wasn't available when you got him. He wasn't available. He left at Notre Dame. Remember, he didn't get fired by Notre Dame. He left.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
No, you're correct.
How do you defend Brian Kelly and you have bashed him for so many years?
Because I can understand how. Notre Dame is Notre Dame. That's just its own thing. But I also think that once again, I would rather have Brian Kelly. I'm talking from a place of not having a coach at all. You could get Billy Napier. I'd rather have Brian Kelly. Easily.
Let me tell you who they could go get. Signetti. If they ponied up the money, they could go get Signetti after next year. They could. They go get him.
Now Indiana did just extend him, but
so if I give you 115 and they gave you 68 or whatever they gave you, well,
you got to buy him out too, though. That's where it's gonna get tricky.
SEC money don't matter. You see what Texas A&M did? SEC money don't matter. It don't matter. He left.
Yeah,
didn't they buy him out of Notre Dame? His contract wasn't up.
I'm once again, this is one that don't have a bearing on my life.
Yes, it does. That's LSU. They play y'all.
I hope they fire him.
Would you take him? Would you take him at Florida?
Yeah. Do I get rid of Billy Napier?
Yeah. So would you take him because you want him, or would you take him to get rid of Billy Napier?
I don't really want Brian Kelly, but I surely don't want Billy Napier.
Exactly. So it ain't really you want Brian Kelly, it's you trying to get rid of Billy Napier. That ain't.
No. Because as a person who's had McElwain and Muschamp, I would rather have Brian Kelly than them.
They could go get Georgia Tech's offensive coordinator today.
I'm not finna sign up for Georgia Tech for a half a season, bro. Be good. Be something first. You got to at least not see this.
Brian Kelly talk about, I hear y'all talking trash. We'll see you at the national championship next year.
That's the right thing to do. When you and your lady finna break up and y'all ain't going to make it to Christmas, but you still go through the whole planning of the holidays, it's the same thing here. Yeah, I see you at the national championship. Boy, you Magic Johnson. I ain't going to be there. I mean, that part is what it is too now. I don't think that's the right decision. But you saying something like that is surely going to make sure that they just go ahead and get you out of there. So, I mean,
know what I am scared of? I'm gonna throw this out there, and I'm gonna piss you off. I'm gonna throw this out there before we go, because we're getting ready to head over to our NFL segment after this. How long, if South Carolina State wins the Black National Championship, the Celebration Bowl this year, and then they win it next year, how long before somebody poaches him? Because there's going to be a mid-major team that Kent State. There's going to be a mid-major team that poaches him. He's gonna win. Or wherever he go, he gonna win. And then if he wins, they already talk about Marcus Freeman going to Chicago from Notre Dame. Like, if he keeps winning, all he needs is one upset. All he needs is one upset of a FBS team.
Get the hell out of Notre Dame, because he's never going to be able to do what he needs to in Notre Dame.
I disagree. Well, yeah.
He's going to be, Marcus Freeman is going to be Marcus Freeman. They're going to be a top 10 team.
Leader of men.
That's never going to win a championship. But if you've consistently kind of got them to like 10, so whatever you're doing, it's enough. I do think that if he went, I think he need to be looking for an SEC job. Now, he might be the guy to go to LSU.
That was another one, but I don't know. That would be interesting.
Too cyclical.
Yeah, you would literally go from Brian Kelly to Marcus Freeman, Brian Kelly to Marcus Freeman. But he has the backing of NFL players. The NFL players and all of their sons are going to Notre Dame.
He has a respect for him. Yeah, he has.
He's
has
young enough.
A different level of respect. And I think that he's also getting the most out of, like, Notre Dame doesn't have the guys over there. What position are they like elite?
Yeah, Kyle. You talking about this year? Or you talking about in general since he's been there?
This year.
They are an elite running team. They can run the ball on anybody
That's fair.
because of the quarterback. Now, quarterback can't throw. He came from Duke. He came from Duke. When Duke's head coach left, he transferred to Notre Dame. He can't really. He's not that great of a pocket passer, but he's a dual threat, 6'6" running quarterback. They got a good running back who hurdles somebody every game now, and they can play defense. They play really good. They didn't have Kyle Hamilton, and they got Joe Alt. They got good deep.
I just want to see him at a place where he can get some elite
SU.
I mean, I like Marcus Freeman.
Or Florida.
As hell yeah. Fire Billy. Bring on Marcus. Yeah. Now, I don't know how Florida feels about black coaches, though. Let's be real here.
I also don't know if that's a step up for him to leave Notre Dame. It's
not a step
program wise.
Lateral move with more opportunity.
Notre Dame, yeah. He would not have more. You would not have more visibility than Notre Dame. Florida does not have more visibility than Notre
Dame. Because I agree with what you're saying, but
especially now that they don't have CBS.
Yeah,
no, they ain't got whole NBC.
But them players want to play in the SEC because they also know what that means. Like, it's cool to play for Notre Dame, but they're having a good season, and we're big football fans. We can't name you the people on their team.
No, because they playing number freshman and sophomore quietly.
But even when they were at their best, you are naming literally Kyle Hamilton, Joe Alt. That's it. Florida.
Oh, I keep going there. Cole Kmet, that team, they put like 8 players in the NFL that year.
I mean,
Florida to put in.
Oh, now put him in the pros. Now, what year you want to talk about? Now
the last 3 years, I'm pretty sure Notre Dame has put more players in the pros than Florida. More lottery picks, more defensive players. More offensive players. Pretty sure about that. I haven't looked it up. I don't have any data to support that. I didn't look anything up. But from what I've seen, I'm pretty sure they have. Florida has had, I can think of 2. Gervon Dexter. I can think of 3. Gervon Dexter, your quarterback.
No,
Ricky Pearsall is 4.
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, that's your quarterback. That's 4. That's 4. I'm pretty sure they haven't put anybody else. Maybe you could take C.J. Henderson, but that's 7th round. But if you want to count that, 7th round. I don't think Florida has put in as many as Notre Dame.
Anthony Richardson, Gervon Dexter, Osiris Torrance, Ventrell Miller, Justin Shorter, Amari Burney, Khair Elam, Zachary Carter, Damian Pierce, Kyle Biss, Kadarius Toney, Kyle Trask, Marco Wilson, Evan McPherson.
That Kyle Pitts wasn't under Billy, was it?
No.
Or Marcus.
That was the last year. And then almost there. Let's look. And while y'all listen, please remember to follow, and subscribe.
Marcus Freeman got there in 2022?
Yeah. Joe
Kyle
Alt,
Hamilton,
Blake
Kyron
Fisher,
Warnes, Michael Mayer, Isaiah Fosker, Jared Patterson, Joe Alt, Blake Fisher, Marie.
They had 7 last year.
Leah Fuau. I forgot about him. Cam Hart, J.D. Bertrand, Audric. J.D. Bertrand got. Oh yeah, for the Falcons. Audric Estime, John
Baptiste. Honestly about the same.
It's close. Ogunjebi. Yeah, that's him. Because he came there in 21, right?
No, 24, 23.
22. He came in 22.
22. Yeah. So since then, they've had 12 players. And and since 22, we've had 10.
So I was right.
But also, they've been top 10 3 years in a row. So we've been bottom 10 3 years in a row.
That does no bearing for my. I was correct. So I mean, like, Florida would
correct,
not
but-
be a step up for him in any way, shape, or form. LSU would be a step up because he would have way more. I think he would have just as much talent.
And if you look at our 10 versus their 12, they got way more 6-7s. I mean, we got Ricky is a 1. Ricky is a 1. Anthony Richardson was 4. Dexter is a second rounder. Torrance is a second rounder. Ventrell Miller is 4. Shorter was 5.
So you got
Birdie
2
was
ones?
6.
You got 2 ones?
3 ones. Kyer Elam was a 1.
Okay. Well.
2 2s. 1 3. 2 4s. 1 5. 1 6.
Yeah, Joe Alt, who was 5. Kyle Hamilton, 1. I mean, 14. First round. Joe Alt, first round.
Yeah.
They only got 1 7th rounder. Why you say they got a whole bunch of 7s? They got 1 7th rounder, 1 6th rounder.
They got
2 5s.
How many 5s? 3 5s.
3 5s. And all of them play.
I think that if you look at our 2 teams, somebody, it's no reason that one who can't win a game and a top 10 team putting out the same. Maybe
rationalize it, brother. Sure. Sure.
Maybe I'm unreasonable for thinking that if you're like consistently a top 10 team and the other team is.
Tell me more. Keep going. This is Norwood. This is peak Norwood right now.
Yeah, that's it. That's just it's just I'm figuring it out to myself. I got a reason. I think that's reasonable is to talk yourself through it, and it should make sense to you. Yeah,
tell me more.
I'm not against that.
Sure.
Not against that.
I know. It's okay. Conference championship games. Which one are you looking forward to most?
You don't think that those?
I said my piece. I said that Notre Dame has had more draft picks under Marcus Freeman than Florida, and that Florida is not a step up to go from Notre Dame to Florida. You then are now going to try to rationalize a whole lot of extra stuff to what my point was.
Is I think that Marcus Freeman is probably a pretty decent coach. I think Billy Napier sucks. So yes, if your production is the same as Billy, and you have a top 10 team, that don't exactly make sense to me. And I don't think I'm unreasonable for believing that.
Sure. Okay. What conference championship game are you looking for? ACC. SMU versus Clemson. That's going to be a barn burner.
Do not care. Do not
SMU. Why? Because the winner gets the bye. And if Clemson wins, then you get 3 ACC teams in now. You get SMU, you get Miami, and you get Clemson. If Clemson loses, then you only get 2.
Because I don't trust any of those 3 teams to do anything other than be present. So no, I'm not excited about that.
This is one that everybody's going to be talking about. They going to wash and dry at Penn State. Oregon going to kill Penn State.
This is interesting to me. And I will tell you why this is way more interesting to me. Because you have Dan Lanning, who's showing up in the Big Ten and taking it over. This is this is Penn State's opportunity to take back its conference where they've been for the last 1,800 million years. On top of that, James Franklin has issues with winning the big games when they mean the most. So this is another opportunity. If you don't get it done today, then I don't know really what to tell you other than Penn State, you kind of stuck. You can't get a guy better, but he's never going to win the big game.
Penn State ain't nothing but expensive Purdue. It's the same thing that I've been saying. I said about Purdue. You are not going to be able to beat Ohio State. You're not going to be able to beat Michigan. You're not going to be able to beat Oregon. You probably
the expectation.
If it ain't for Lincoln Riley, underachieving self, you wouldn't be able to beat USC.
But the expectation is that you can beat Ohio
State. Why?
Because of the money. And because
which is my point. Expensive Purdue.
Wait. The money and the fact that you're always top 10. If you weren't always top 10, then you're right. If you were Indiana, okay, well, y'all lose, whatever, bro. This is the first time you hear. Penn State, you show up to the same place every year and lose.
Which means what? They should not be top 10.
I don't know if you can say that they're not 10. I will have to go back and look at their schedule. I think they played a top 10 schedule.
They played Ohio State.
About that.
They played Ohio State and they played Michigan. I don't even think they played Michigan this year. Penn State actually had a soft schedule, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, you play Illinois. It's a top 20 team. You played Ohio State and you lost. That's it. I mean,
they barely beat USC, Wisconsin, Washington, Purdue.
You know what this does for me?
Barely beat Minnesota, Maryland. They ain't played nobody.
This is Indiana then. This is going to be your first chance. And if you don't win, then you are the Shan that we believed you to be. That's it. So at least I leave here figuring out something. And I do think that Oregon could win a national championship. I do think that.
Yes, because the chips are falling. Like, they are in a perfect storm right now. They have just enough talent. They got an old quarterback. They got a lot of talent.
Season.
Now, you are playing, they beat Ohio State. Ohio State is being questioned right now. But Oregon gonna have to show me. Oregon's gonna have to show me. Oregon's gonna have to show me.
But they're gonna get an opportunity. That's what I like is Oregon. I will tell you who Oregon really is right now. You're the Detroit Lions.
Yeah. You were here last year and you got upset. Now you here. Yeah.
You in the front. You got the experience. You got the coach that everybody loves. You just got to go handle your business.
Correctamundo.
Yeah. I want to see if you can handle your business or not. And this is an opportunity for James Franklin to say, nah, y'all got me messed up.
I'll be happy if the black man wins, but I'm going to let you know. Dan Lanning going to go up there they trying to send a message.
But what I'm saying is both of these teams have something to prove. That's a game I'm interested in watching for sure. Because somebody going to prove at least for another week to be okay.
Yeah.
Boys, UNLV, Skip, Genty, see if you can get 300-400 rushing yards.
I'm nervous about this
Georgia,
about
Texas is interesting. I'm going to give this one step down because we haven't seen Oregon and
Penn State
play. We've seen these two teams play, but I think that this is a different Georgia team, and I think to a certain degree it's a different Texas team. Texas has lost some of their shimmer, gleam, and confidence. Georgia has picked it up, but due to your quarterback, at any point, it could be tricked all the way off, and everybody knows that.
I think both of them lost the gleam after last week. Texas was not convincing. Texas probably should have lost or could have lost. Georgia,
y'all should have lost.
That's I was saying, and I said that's why I said they're the same team. Uh-huh. Georgia probably should have lost, but they didn't. So, what's interesting is how Quinn Ewers will play and how quickly you see Arch Manning play. Because when Arch Manning comes in, when they're not down, it's a totally different vibe for Quinn Ewers and the rest of the team. He's happy, he's upbeat, he's dapping them up. He's like, "Yeah, you that dude." When he came in against Georgia, You were already down, and Georgia was sharking blood in the water with some sharks. Now, Georgia for the first time in a long time, if they can get Etienne back, will be healthy, which is going to be an interesting thing. Texas defensive line is really good. And for the first time, Georgia's offensive line is not the best offensive line in the nation for the first time in like 4 years, or top 2. So that, to me, the war in the trenches is where you're going to see. And Texas has the advantage of having revenge on their mind. They felt like they were duped. They felt like they were not themselves against Georgia. And they are going to come in and try to smoke Georgia's boots.
Yeah, because I think they also know that if we can beat Georgia, this puts us in an elite conversation. We can be back to where
they're the number 2 team in the nation. They're already elite.
Yeah, but the elite conversation is like, oh, cool, but can you beat Georgia?
Because even when you made it last year, everybody said Georgia should have been in last year anyway. Yeah, you're not lying. You're not lying.
Exactly. My sentiments exactly. You still, Georgia is still Georgia. And until you punch him in the face,
that's what they're going to do to you. If anything Georgia going to do, and I've noticed with this team, whenever times get tough, even the games that they lost, whenever times get tough, we just going to hit you in the face over and over again.
Who did they get loose on? Was that Texas? Did the defensive line got loose like that?
Yes. 7 sacks.
Oh, then yeah. Hey, you better hope you don't see ghosts, my boy.
And they get their defensive lineman back. This is going to be an interesting game. But Texas is going to try to do now. Sarkisian going to try to scheme this up, boy. You're going to see a whole lot of crossing and double reverses and all of that. You're going to see a whole lot of stuff in this game.
Sark knows the deal. He knows Kirby. And Sark is like, UGA is the school of Georgia. Sure. But Texas is Texas. This is my opportunity.
Blue blood.
And blue blood, if I can come to the SEC and win a championship, oh man, this puts me in the most elite company. Especially your first year.
I don't put any credence to that first year stuff because they've been building that for 3 years when they announced it. I put more credence in SMU than Texas.
I agree with all of that, but to still do it, everything is cool until you do it. You can say, "Oh, I had this plan for 3 years." Everybody been planning.
Yeah,
you got punched in the mouth and didn't quit, and then you came back and won a championship. Oh man, you the king. You the king, Austin.
Now the question is,
and your old lady probably coming back too.
She already back. You saw that? She already back. She was at the game. Yeah, Stark was like, cool.
Why are you back here?
Them Daisy Dukes and Boots was right there waiting. Like you said, it was like, hey.
Here I go I'm back and I'm better like Bryson Tiller. Now here you come back. When I dip, you dip, we dip. No, you dip. You left. Do not return. Gather your thing.
Shout out to Rachel the Hamptonian. I can't remember her last name. Her married name. Her husband is the running backs coach, I believe, at Texas. So correct. We wish you a little bit of luck in hoping that nobody gets hurt permanently. It's the only luck I wish you.
No, hook 'em.
Do you think with this game, if Georgia loses,
I rooted against your women's basketball team.
Does Georgia get in if they lose? Does Georgia get in if they lose?
Yeah. Yes.
Especially after, I think a lot of people aren't paying attention to the fact that last year, a team that lost in the SEC championship game didn't make it. Georgia, if you think about it, Georgia is the reason we have the 12-team playoff. They destroyed TCU, beat them so bad that they started talking about that too. They went from 4 to talking about 8 to 12. And then last year, everybody, I'm not going to say everybody because I'm biased in that point, but objectively speaking, a lot of people believe that Georgia was the best team in the nation last year. A lot of people. I personally don't think Michigan was going to beat Georgia. I don't think Washington could have beat Georgia.
Nope.
I don't think Alabama. Who else was there?
I think that I would have liked to see that Washington Georgia game. I think that how I felt about Penix. So
I think if they couldn't beat Michigan, I think they would have got their boots smoked. That's when Carson Beck was good.
What?
Yeah, he was good. And then of course you got the Big 12 championship, which a lot of people didn't see. How crazy would it be if Iowa State? What crazy? Fuck that. This is crazy. Iowa State or Arizona State can make the playoff. Iowa State or Arizona State. Iowa State. I'm gonna say it for the third time. Iowa State or Arizona State. You can't name not. I could name the Pitchfork before I can name anybody else on that. I don't know nobody on them teams. Not one person. Not none. I don't know. Not none.
This is not a game you want. You're going to win this to lose your recruiting class. Y'all get stomped out. It's better to lose this Big 12 championship and say, damn, we lost. They get laid to the side. Boy, they gonna pull.
You going to have to play Ohio State or you going to have to. Well, they're going to get a bye, though. The Big 12 is going to get a bye.
You're right. And all you're going to do is get a bye to die.
Bide your time. That's all.
Buy and die, baby. Buy and die.
Woo! Man, y'all stay tuned.
Y'all gotta buy. And you know what? That's what they're going to say. They gave y'all a bye week to lose like that. You had an extra week to practice. Y'all still not prepared. Yeah, I ain't going to go there. I'm going to go to one of these other 11 schools.
Oh, man. But, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the college football segment. We're going to talk about pro football next. We're going to take about 30 seconds. 30 seconds. We're going to take a couple minutes. I'm going to re-up a little bit. Y'all know Tuesdays. Boy, it's off. So, I'm going to re-up a little bit.
Not me. I'll be going to my employer tomorrow.
And then we'll be talking about depression. Kirk stealing money. Trevor Lawrence got...
He's not stealing.
You see these stats for the last 3 games, you'll say that.
Yeah, just like I didn't say he was stealing when he had that 400-yard game, bro. You just mid. Just mid.
No, the last 3 games, he's below mid. Below mid. But we'll see. We'll be right back. Y'all go get y'all beverage. Remember, like, follow, subscribe. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Go ahead and we'll be back. Y'all stay tuned. Y'all stay tuned. Until next time.
Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you, my friend. Ian, boy.